Good morning, students. The last class we have completed with the male reproductive system. So today we will discuss about the female reproductive system. Okay. So as you all know that female reproductive system also can be divided under three main headings. The first one is primary sex organ. Second heading is secondary or accessory sex organ, and third heading is external genitalia. Okay, so let us see what is meant by the primary sex organ. These are those organs which are directly involved in the process of reproduction. In case of females, we have ovaries as the primary sex organ, and you know that ovaries are a pair. Okay. Next, coming to the secondary or accessory sex organs, there we can divide again into accessory ducts and accessory glands. Okay, in the accessory ducts, we have different duct systems in females. That first one is known as the oviduct, which is then leading to another duct called uterus. Then it is leading to a duct called cervix, and finally, there is a small opening known as the vagina. Okay, so oviduct, uterus, cervix and vagina forms the four important ducts in female reproductive system. Is that clear to you? Next, we'll move on to the accessory glands. In case of males, we had three types of glands, but in females, we basically have two types of glands. The first one is, of course, the mammary glands, which is helping in the production of milk and nourishing the baby. And the second type of gland is known as bulbovestibular glands, which is found near the region of the vagina. Okay, so when we study, we will study the functions of these glands. Okay, so there are two types of glands, mammary glands and bulbovestibular glands. Okay, and the last part is the external genitalia. In external genitalia, the females are having only one particular structure, which is called the vulva. Okay, so vulva forms the external opening of the female reproductive system. So with that, we have completed the divisions of the female reproductive system. I hope this is clear to you. Okay, so now let us come to the details of the primary sex organ in females, that is the ovary. Okay, you know that ovaries are actually a pair which is lying on either side of the abdominal cavity. They are located in the pelvic region. Pelvic region is a region just below the stomach part. Okay, so that is a pelvic region. So ovaries are situated on either side of the abdominal wall in the pelvic region. Okay, now each ovary is attached to the pelvic region by means of a ligament which is known as ovarian ligaments. Okay, now each ovary is having an almond shape. You know the fruit almond, it is having an oval shape. So almond is the shape of the ovary, and that is a flattened body which is measuring about 2 to 4 centimeters in length. Okay, so I told you ovaries are suspended by means of a ligaments called ovarian ligaments. Now, the outer region of the ovary is actually composed of, the outer region of the ovary is composed of developing follicles. Follicles mean small structures which are later becoming the ovum or the egg. So the outer region of the ovary is composed of developing follicles, and the middle region is composed of stroma, which contains connective tissue, blood vessels, etc. Okay, so that is the structure of the ovary, and the stroma lying in the middle region is divided into two regions. The first one is known as peripheral cortex region and then inner medulla region. So have you understood? When you take the ovary is having an outer layer of developing follicles and the middle layer of stroma. The stroma is again divided into two categories, that is a peripheral cortical region or the peripheral cortex, and there is an inner medulla region. Okay, so this is the important structure of the primary sex organ, that is ovary, in case of females. Okay, next we shall move to the accessory sex organs, and first we will deal with the accessory ducts which I mentioned earlier. They are oviduct, uterus, then cervix and vagina. These are the four important duct systems seen in females. Okay, so we will see the detail one by one. Okay, now let's move on to the first important part, that is the oviduct. Children, as you all know that this oviduct is actually a pair. There are two oviducts you can see on either side of the pelvic region, and each oviduct is having a connection with the ovary. and the oviducts on the other side, the oviduct is connected to the muscular bag called the uterus. Now each of these oviduct is actually a small tube which is around 10 to 12 centimeters in length. They are lying on either side of the uterus and near the pelvic region. The opening of this fallopian tube on the other side, other than the uterus, is having an expanded funnel shaped structure which is known as the infundibulum. Have you understood? The other side of the oviduct, opposite to the uterus, is having a funnel shaped opening which is known as infundibulum. This infundibulum is having several finger like projections which are known as fimbriae. Okay, see, infundibulum is having several finger-like projections which are called infundibulum. Which is known as fimbriae. Okay, now these fimbriae can move closer to the ovaries to collect the developed ovum or the mature ovum during the time of ovulation. Is that clear to you? Now, infundibulum is leading to another wider part which is called the ampulla, that is going nearer to the uterus. And next to the ampulla region, you can see another part, the last part of the oviduct, which is known as the isthmus. ISTHMUS, isthmus, which is the last part of the oviduct having a narrow lumen that is coming and joining the uterus. So the exact fertilization takes place in the ampulla isthmus region of the oviduct in case of human females. Is that clear to you? So this is all about oviduct. And the oviduct is an important duct system which is carrying the developed ovum or the mature ovum from the ovary to the uterus for attachment and for fertilization. So this is the important function of the oviduct. Now let us move on to the next duct or next path which is known as the uterus. Okay, so coming back, we can discuss about the uterus. You know, the uterus is a very, very important part of the female reproductive system. You know why? Because this is a part that is conceiving the zygote, or the child or the embryo or the fetus is developing in the uterus. So uterus is a very important part. It is like a cradle for the baby. Okay. Now, the uterus is actually a single hollow muscular pear shape. It is the shape of a pear. The pear fruit, you know, the shape of the pear fruit. And it is supported by ligaments and then it is attached to the pelvic wall. It is present between the urinary bladder and the rectum in case of females. Present between urinary bladder and rectum. The lower part of the uterus is leading to a narrow canal which is known as cervix. Okay, a narrow canal called cervix. The cavity of the cervix is called cervical canal. Cervix is a very narrow structure that is coming lower end of the uterus, and that is called the cervical canal. And the lower part of the cervical canal is actually the place which is called the vagina. It is also known as the birth canal, through which the baby comes out during the time of parturition. When the baby is fully developed or the fetus is fully developed, the fetus comes out through the small opening called the birth canal or the vaginal region. Okay, so the wall of the uterus, when you come to the uterus, the wall of the uterus is actually having 3 layers of tissues. The first layer is known as perimetrium, second layer is known as myometrium, and the third layer is known as endometrium. Okay, once again, the first layer is known as perimetrium, the second layer is known as myometrium, and the third layer is known as endometrium. Let's see what are the functions of these. Perimetrium is the outer thin membranous covering of the uterine wall. The outer thin membranous covering is called the perimetrium. And what is myometrium? It is a middle thick layer of the smooth muscle fibers. It is made of smooth muscle fibers and it contracts very strongly during labor pain or during the time of labor. So how do you feel the labor pain? Because of the extreme vigorous contraction of this myometrial muscles. They are smooth muscles. You have studied about smooth muscles. They are able to contract, isn't it? So they are involuntary. The contraction is involuntary. We are not able to contract. They comes as their own. Okay, so they are involuntary nature. They contract very vigorously during the time of labor, and that is how the child is able to come out from the vaginal region. Okay, then comes the endometrium, which is the inner layer, and you remember this is the layer that is getting shed during the time of menstrual bleeding. You often have menstrual flow during 5 or 6 days of every month, isn't it? And that shedding of blood is coming from this particular layer called endometrium, which is the innermost layer of the uterine wall. Okay, so have you understood the three important walls of the uterus? The first one is perimetrium, second one is myometrium, and the third one is endo. Endo means inside, that is shed every 28 days. And myometrium has smooth muscles which undergo vigorous contraction during the childbirth. Okay, so that is about the uterus and the cervix and the vagina, which forms the important duct system of the human females. Is that clear to you?